Look, every single time you go online, you are essentially leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs. It's true. You click a link, you like a photo of a dog wearing a tiny hat, you search for, can you legally own a capybara, you buy that slightly embarrassing novelty mug at 3 in the morning. All of it gets recorded. Think about it. Your phone knows where you are right now. Your browser knows you've spent an alarming amount of time looking at pictures of oddly shaped vegetables. Your smart speaker is, and I cannot stress this enough, actively listening to you argue with your roommate about whose turn it is to buy toilet paper. It's like having a nosy neighbor who is also a supercomputer with a perfect memory. This vast, ever-growing mountain of information is what the tech geniuses call big data. It's a friendly-sounding term, isn't it? Big data sounds like a wholesome, oversized farmer from a children's book. But it's less about wholesome farming and more about creating a disturbingly detailed digital twin of you. Every preference, every habit, every late-night pizza order, and every political rant you've ever typed out is gathered, sorted, and stored. Companies you've never even heard of are buying and selling this information, creating a profile of you that is more detailed than your own mother could ever imagine. They know you better than you know yourself, which is frankly a little insulting. So, what are they doing with all this data? Well, for starters, they're trying to sell you things. That's why after you mention you need new socks, your entire digital life becomes an endless sock advertisement. Socks on your social media, socks in your news articles, socks haunting your dreams. But it goes so much deeper than just trying to get you to buy more hosiery. This data is the raw fuel for something far more powerful, and yes, far more terrifying. Algorithms. These are complex computer programs designed to analyze your digital breadcrumbs and then make predictions or even decisions about you. It's like a digital fortune teller, but instead of a crystal ball, it has your search history. And this isn't some far-off dystopian future. It's happening right now, today, on this very day, January 28th, 2026. The technology that powers this whole operation is a cocktail of big data, artificial intelligence, AI, and what's called predictive analytics. In simple terms, they take all the stuff they know about you, feed it to a very smart but very literal-minded robot brain, and ask it to guess what you'll do next. Will you pay back a loan? Are you a good employee? Are you likely to commit a crime? The computer spits out an answer, a score, a judgment. And that judgment is starting to have very real consequences on our very real, non-digital lives. All right, so we've established that corporations and governments have a frankly creepy amount of our data. But the real story begins when that data is weaponized. This is where we move from simple surveillance to what's called algorithmic judgment. This is the moment a computer program looks at your data and decides if you are a good person or a bad person, trustworthy or risky. It's a digital report card for your entire life, and you don't even get to see the questions on the test. This system is designed to automate trust, to replace human intuition with cold, hard, and often biased calculations. A fantastic, and by fantastic I mean deeply unsettling, example of this is a social credit system. The idea is simple. Your actions are monitored, and you are assigned a score. If you do things the system likes, say, pay your bills on time or donate to an approved charity, your score goes up. But if you do things it doesn't like, perhaps you're caught jaywalking by a surveillance camera, or you post something critical of the government online, your score goes down. This isn't a video game. A low score can have devastating real-world consequences, effectively turning you into a second-class citizen in your own country. So what happens if your score drops too low? Well, in places where these systems are being implemented, it can mean you're banned from buying plane or high-speed train tickets. It could mean your kids are barred from attending certain schools. You might find it impossible to get a loan, a good job, or even a fast internet connection. The system enforces the rules automatically. There's no human to plead your case to, no manager to speak with. There is only the algorithm, and the algorithm has decided you are untrustworthy. It's a digital punishment handed down by a machine that cannot be reasoned with. And this isn't just a government thing. Companies are doing it too. Think about it. Your reputation score on a ride-sharing app determines if a driver will pick you up. Lenders use algorithms to decide if you're worthy of a mortgage based on data points you've never even seen. Insurance companies are experimenting with tracking your driving habits through your phone to set your rates. We are all being judged constantly by these invisible systems. They are the new gatekeepers of modern life, deciding who gets access to opportunities and who gets left behind, all based on a score generated from our digital ghosts. To understand how this really works, let's talk about a hypothetical person. Let's call him Li Wei. Li Wei is a graphic designer living in a city with a fully developed social credit system. For years, he's been a model citizen. He pays his taxes. He visits his elderly parents regularly, something the system rewards. And he has a great credit score. His social credit number is high, which gives him perks like priority booking for doctor's appointments and lower interest rates on loans. Life is pretty good. He follows the rules and the system rewards him for it. He feels safe and secure. One day, Li Wei's friend, an artist, posts an article online that is subtly critical of a local government policy. Li Wei, wanting to be supportive, shares the article on his social media page with a simple comment. This is an interesting perspective. He doesn't think much of it. It's just a share. But the system is always watching. An algorithm flags the post. It analyzes the language, notes the original source, and connects Li Wei to his dissident friend. Within hours, Li Wei gets a notification. His social credit score has been docked 50 points for spreading unverified information. Suddenly, Li Wei's life starts to unravel. That 50-point drop was just enough to push him into a lower tier of trustworthiness. The next week, he tries to book a train ticket to visit a client in another city, but the booking website tells him he is ineligible for high-speed rail travel. He applies for a small business loan to upgrade his design software, but his application is instantly rejected by the bank's automated system. His internet speed is even throttled, making it difficult to upload the large design files he needs for his job. He has become digitally shackled. Li Wei's story shows how quickly a person's life can be upended by an automated judgment. He didn't commit a crime in the traditional sense. He just shared an article. But in the world of algorithmic control, a digital action has a direct, physical, and punishing consequence. There is no appeal process, no court to hear his case. He is guilty because the algorithm says he is guilty. His only path back to a normal life is to try and earn back his points by performing acts of public good, hoping the silent, ever-watchful system will forgive him. His freedom of expression has been curbed not by a person, but by a program. Now, it would be easy to sit back here in the West and say, well, that's just a problem for other countries. But that would be dangerously naive. Because while China is certainly the most famous, or infamous pioneer of a state-run social credit system, the tools and techniques of algorithmic surveillance are a global phenomenon. Governments and corporations all over the world are eagerly adopting these technologies. It's kind of like seeing your neighbor get a fancy new lawnmower, and instead of just wanting one too, you also want it to be able to report on anyone who lets their dog poop on your lawn. In some countries, governments use sophisticated spyware to monitor journalists, activists, and political opponents. This software can turn a person's own phone into a surveillance device, recording calls, tracking locations, and reading messages. In other places, police departments are using predictive policing software. This technology uses historical crime data to predict where crime is most likely to occur, leading to a heavier police presence in certain neighborhoods. The problem is, if the historical data is biased, which it often is, the algorithm just ends up reinforcing that bias, creating a feedback loop of over-policing in minority communities. And let's not forget the private sector, our beloved corporate overlords. Companies like Facebook, Meta, Amazon, and Google have built their entire empires on collecting and analyzing your data. They may not be issuing official social credit scores, but they are absolutely making judgments that affect your life. The content you see, the news you read, the job ads you're shown, all of it is curated by algorithms designed to maximize engagement, often at the expense of truth or your mental well-being. They have created their own private kingdoms of surveillance for the noble cause of profit. The scary part is how these public and private systems are starting to merge. Government agencies are increasingly buying massive data sets from private data brokers to track people. Your digital footprint from shopping online could be used to build a profile of you for law enforcement. This combination of corporate data hoarding and government surveillance power is creating a global state of watchfulness that transcends borders. The technology is spreading everywhere, from democratic nations to authoritarian regimes, each adapting it to their own needs for control and profit. The digital panopticon is going global. So, are we all doomed to live in a digital cage of our own making, judged by unfeeling algorithms for the rest of time? Well, maybe. But the good news is, people are starting to fight back. All around the world, there's a growing movement of citizens, activists, lawyers, and even some politicians who are waking up to the dangers of unchecked algorithmic power. They are demanding fairness, transparency, and accountability. It's an uphill battle, like trying to explain the concept of privacy to your great aunt on Facebook, but it's a critically important one. One of the most powerful tools in this fight is legislation. In Europe, they've introduced the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR. It's a set of laws that gives people more control over their personal data, including the right to be forgotten. It's not perfect, but it's a massive step. It forces companies to be more transparent about what data they're collecting and why, and it gives individuals a way to say, hey, maybe don't keep a record of that embarrassing thing I bought in 2018 forever. Other countries and states are now looking at the GDPR as a model for their own privacy laws. Beyond new laws, there's a growing call for algorithmic accountability. This means forcing companies and governments to open up their black boxes. We need to be able to see how these algorithms work, what data they are trained on, and whether they are biased. Some experts are pushing for mandatory human oversight, ensuring that any life-altering decision made by a computer, like denying a loan or flagging someone as a criminal risk, has to be reviewed by an actual person. It's a radical idea, I know, having a human in the loop when making decisions about other humans. Ultimately, protecting our freedom and privacy in this new digital world comes down to us. We need to be more critical of the technology we use and more demanding of the companies and governments that deploy it. This isn't about rejecting technology and going back to living in caves. Though admittedly, the Wi-Fi in caves is terrible. It's about shaping how that technology is used. So, the next time you click I agree on a terms of service agreement you haven't read, just take a moment to think. What are you agreeing to? And who is watching? Because in the age of algorithmic judgment, those are no longer trivial questions. They might just be the most important ones we can ask.